So, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. We are here today with Sue Paulson, who is one of our founding members. We're so glad to have you. And today we're just going to kind of get to know you and see what good things are in store and what are you up to and things like that. So the first thing, so tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit how you got started in doing what you're doing and just what's your passion?
All right, Pamela, thank you. It's just such a delight to be here today with you. The well, I guess the short answer to the question is I'm all about each of us creating a magnificent life based on the fact that we come to this world magnificent. And so anything that we can do to make that happen for us is what I'm all about. Now, I wasn't always like this. I had lots of years where I was kind of in a sea of suffering and found but I got introduced to personal growth when I was in my 20s, and I just was so passionate about growth. Once I understood that there were some vehicles that I could access and I could learn to kind of figure out who I was as a person and where I could go with that. Well, that has become a lifelong quest for me. So on the one hand, I'm a constant student because the more years I add on, the more I realize how much I don't actually know. And so then I'm curious, right? And on the other hand, I love sharing what I've learned along the way. And so that's kind of how I got started with things. And I'm just so passionate about this new focus of mine. When I used to teach personal growth, it was everything from professional stuff on communication skills and dealing with stress strategies and so on, right through to how do you just learn to love yourself more and more. So as I come through some fairly extreme adversity in my life and come out on top, then I've come to this place of, wow, this worked for me, so maybe it'll work for other people. So it's to get the word out, get my message out. That's really what I'm having the most fun with these days.
Well, I know the first you had mentioned that I know you worked like in corporate America for a while, I believe, and you
Yes.
talked about stress and how that you were surprised how much stress affected people and their life and stuff, which is what kind of led you to do what you're doing now, right?
Oh, for sure. It's so interesting that when I learned things along the way, when I was working in the corporate arena, I wanted to deliver what might be useful and helpful. And this was probably in the 90s. And there were lots of people who were just stressed out. And so I created this little workshop that I thought would address that, did my research and so on. And it was really well, excuse me, really well received. So, well, of course, sometimes when we move on to other things, we just kind of leave whatever we knew behind. And I just sort of, oh, well, it felt like a little bit like the flavor of the year or whatever. And so I thought, oh, well, I'm sure everybody knows how to deal with their stress now and didn't think it was an issue. And now I'm discovering, okay, we're kind of stressed out on steroids compared to what the levels of stress, because the world is so much more complex these days. And with technology and so on, we have so many more things that can cause stressors in our lives that we didn't have before. And of course, our world right now, oh my goodness, that's causing some interesting challenges for everybody, for sure.
Yes, it does. Beyond belief. So what is it that, why did you decide to become a founding member of Acorn Life Mastery Community? What drew you to us?
I met Adam at one point, and he got sharing with me what the community was all about and the vision for it. Well, I'm all about community. For me to collaborate and connect with other people is super important, because as a solopreneur, it's just not as engaging. And I find that to be able to connect with a group of like-minded people, which certainly is this community, then it just made my heart sing, because I know that when I bounce ideas off other people and I share what I know and they share what they know, it just makes us all richer, and the experience is much, much better. So when I had the opportunity and went through the what the community was all about and what was being offered, I'm going, wow, I want to be a part of it. So
Definitely so grateful and blessed to have you as part of our community.
thank
So I'm so glad that you decided to join us. So, as part of the community, you know that one of the first things that we have everybody do is go through, other than setting up your profile, is to do the 7 why exercise. What was your experience with that?
I enjoyed doing it. I confess that there were some frustration points, because I go along, well, why do you want that? So it's not every moment of every day that a person needs to do some fairly thorough thinking and get deep. So the why questions, and okay, I come up with a, well, why is that important? And I'm, oh, okay, that's why that's important. Well, well, why is that important? And after about the fifth one, I'm thinking, oh, enough of the whys already. But I kept at it. And by the time I got to the seventh one, I think it was the seventh, yeah, the 7 whys, obviously. I got to the seventh one. Well, then the the passion for what I revealed for myself was right there. So not only did it trigger the thought processes deeper and deeper and deeper, but it really tapped into where my heart was. And that made a huge difference, because I know I'm more involved and more engaged when I have a heart-centered reason for doing what I do. And when that hit, I'm going, all right, okay, I'm glad I worked through the frustration and got to that level.
Right. I can relate because I was kind of the same way. It's like we did it in the management meeting, and it was like, of course, at the time, I don't think he told us it was 7 whys. He just told us it was whys. And I'm like, okay, how many more do we get? But the clarity that you got from that,
Yes.
was really, for us, it was really, did a lot. So, I know that you're part of the mastermind. What do you find with our process of goal, plan, do, check, adjust, our PDCA? How is that helping you really focus on your monthly goal? And what is your monthly goal currently? What are you working on right now?
All right. Well, I'm in the my I guess my monthly goal is relating to how I'm going to set myself up for 2021, because here we are mid-December, almost mid-December, and I'm going, wow, I have some planning to do for the new year, and and it involves writing some small useful books around the the basis of what do we need to let go of and what do we need to let in. So this is my goal. And what's interesting in the whole setting the goals and the planning and that whole step down process is it helps get me not only more focused but more organized. I'm kind of a go with the flow person, and because I don't have a boss to report to other than me, then sometimes I'm a little too lenient, and I let things slide. So the mastermind process for me is really helpful, because I do much better when I focus on accountability, and especially if I I've set a deadline to do something, then I'm in. So that for me, that kind of structure just helps set me up. It sets me up really for success.
And that's so important, right? Because I think, um, well, actually, I know that for so many of us, I know even for myself, I was really disciplined, but I didn't always have control of my calendar. Or I didn't always have, I knew what I wanted to do and I had my plans and my to do list, but it was that accountability piece
Yes.
that made a difference.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And so, how do you see yourself? Like, how do you see yourself moving forward in 2021? You're talking about writing books, like the small books and stuff. So, what are your topics going to be for that? Do you have anything in mind yet, or are you just going to kind of still in the creative process?
Well, it's definitely a creative process. What was coming to me the other day was when I look at the whole topic of magnificence and break that down into components, and I talk about letting go of certain things and letting other things in or allowing other things. For example, it's really important that we let go of fear and let in more love for ourselves, more love for the people that surround us. And so it's a process. And the same thing with um, when we have things like um, worry or doubt, or we don't feel good about ourselves, our self-esteem is not as high as it needs to be, or we're so stressed out that we don't have one teaspoon of creative juice left because it's consumed by I'm overwhelmed. And so how do we let go of that? How do we release that so that then the creativity can come in and we can have an actual plan for our lives and say, okay, now I think sometimes we get trapped in the sea of adversity and think and then feel victimized. So we definitely need to let go of the notion that we're not as powerful as whatever adversity is out there, because actually we're more powerful. We just haven't allowed that. We haven't tapped into that or embraced that. And so that's part of the process for me, is to say, all right, how do I put that information out in a useful, practical way that's easy for people? They don't need to spend a whole lot of time with simple things. And when you do the simple things, it can just transform a person's life really quickly. And I know it did for me. When I focus on the simple things that I can do to let go of the things that aren't serving me and then pull in what is, then yippee.
Right? And that's so true. Like when you talk about fear, because fear and comparison, I think those are the two biggest things that cripple people.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
the judgment is, we are so hard on ourselves, and because we're so hard on ourselves, we're really hard on other people too. Well, the judgment just doesn't serve. It just gets in our way. And because we learned that from very small, then then the roots go deep. So it's all right, where's my tool to dig that root right down to as far as I can go.
So, is there anything else that you would really want to share with our viewers? Anything that you have coming up that they can take advantage of? If there's ways to contact you, anything that you want to share?
Oh, absolutely. Well, one of the most exciting things that's coming up, I'm about to launch my new e-course. This is the first e-course that I've had the pleasure of putting out to the world. It's called Three Tools to Become Magnificently Calm. So it's being offered first and foremost through the Acorn community, which is very exciting. And as as a way of introducing the information, I think it's next week on the 18th. We've scheduled a free webinar that people can come to, join in, where we're going to talk about the top stress releasers for the holiday season. So everybody likes to think that the holiday season is just all sunshine, light, and sugar cookies. And well, it isn't that way for lots of people. In fact, for many people, it's one of the most stressful times of the year. So we're going to talk about how to work through some of that so that you can, in fact, have an enjoyable, peaceful, and fun holiday season.
Sounds exciting. I know I'm going to be there.
Oh, great. We'll have some fun.
Thank you so much for being on our channel today. For those of you who are watching, either you're watching now or you're watching later, if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, please do. And if you know how to, want to share it with someone else who would be benefited by this, please do. Again, we're Acorn Life Mastery. We believe in totally in leveraging the power of the mastermind's accountability to develop future leaders. And we'd love to have you in our community. So there'll be some links in afterwards. And then, so do you have like a website or anything like that we can put in the link that people could find you?
Oh, absolutely. They can find me at www.yourmagnificencementor.com. And
Awesome.
and as if you go to that website, you'll also find a link to my app, The Magnificence Mentor, which has all kinds of free content and things that you can play with to just figure out, okay, how do I tap into, unlock, and embrace the magnificence that's me?
Right, because everybody is uniquely themselves, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, thank you again for being here. Thank everybody for watching, whether you're watching live or later on. Please reach out. Please join our community and look, stand everywhere. We have different things going on. I know later on today there will be a Rascal Radio review for, I think today is Amanda's day, so she'll be on. And we'd love to have you then. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Pamela. This was great.